Hello guys, and welcome to another episode. Today we're going to be looking at something a little bit different. We're going to be looking at the issue with pike and perch and deep hooking in general. We're going to be looking at underwater footage that I've gathered in recent sessions and over the past year or so, and see how we can avoid deep hooking pike and perch, which seems to be a big issue here in the UK, especially when it comes to pike fishing. There's an issue with people leaving them bit too long to take the bait. Some people say count to 10, some people say count to 5, some people say strike immediately, but I think no matter what, doesn't really matter what time of year it is, a pike can wolf down a bait in no time. First of all, we're going to get into the subject of the time of year in which we're catching these fish and how it affects them. In my opinion, it doesn't really matter any time of the year. A lot of pike anglers will swear by that summertime is worse for fishing for them because they'll wolf it down. What I found is it's not the case. They're a predator at the end of the day, and if they want to eat the bait, they're going to eat it straight down no matter what time of year. This clip is from winter time, middle of winter. Air temperature was in the minuses, solid frost. Unsure about water temperature, but it was a pretty long stretch of cold winter, and as you can see by the footage, pike hammered the bait as fast as anything. They're not slow and lethargic like people say they are in winter time. They hammered it because they're a predator. They need to catch the prey and eat it as fast as possible so that it doesn't escape. If you've got a pike just nibbling on a bait in winter time, they're never going to have a meal because it's just going to evade the mouth if they just slow and lethargically try and take it. Obviously, I think the biggest factor that affects pike is probably whether they've just eaten. If a pike's just eaten a 2-pound chub, big bream, something like that, and you present them a smaller bait, they may look like they're coming over slow and lethargic and nibbling on it. It's not because of the time of year, it's just because it's plain and simply not that hungry. So that's cleared that one up straight away. This may not be your opinion, but it's my opinion, what I've seen from my underwater footage I've filmed. Probably the best way, I'm going to say, to avoid deep hooking a fish, other than striking early, because obviously striking early definitely helps, that is using different hooks. So change your rig, use a single hook, or what I found to be probably, I mean, I've not used it enough to say it is the most successful, but the most successful at getting a lip hooked pike is using circle hooks. Really widely used in America, mainly for catfish, so you don't gut hook them, because from what I know, they're a bit like our eels over here. They like to woof the bait down and end up in the stomach. So I've noticed, from what I've read and from what I've watched on the internet, in America there's been a lot of success using circle hooks for avoiding the deep hooking of catfish and bass when it comes to live baiting for bass. But over here it's not normally used very often. I've used it in perch and pike fishing, and I can tell you now, for the fish I've caught, they've all been lip hooked, and I think all of them have actually been hooked in the scissor as well, which is the perfect spot away from the teeth. Really easy to unhook and really quick for the release. Naturally, if you're using treble hooks, not only if you deep hook a fish do you have the possibility of it not being able to get it back, but also there's always a chance that one of your trebles is going to be loose, hanging out the side of the mouth, which could then get hooked onto the face of the pike, potentially the eye. I've actually had it once before when I've had one of the treble hooks in the mouth and one of them right on the eyebrow of the pike, which really isn't very nice when you're fishing. We don't want it. With the amount of pressure that the pike are getting now from being a popular fish to catch as well as perch, there's a lot more fish out there with wounds, by probably no one's fault really, other than accidental loose hooks been out on the outside of the fish's mouth and gashed up the cheek or the gill plate or the underside of the mouth. I've had it before, underside of the chin, where a hook's been caught under there when they've been thrashing around in the net. So it's definitely something I've been using more in my fishing. I mean, my last video kind of contradicts it because I was using double trebles, but I'm not saying we shouldn't use them all together. But obviously if you're using different baits, let's say you want to go live baiting, maybe use a single circle hook for the tail of the bait. Works fantastic. I've had perch like that, pike like that. Now, as you can see from this footage of the pike, this is a pike, the first one I've ever filmed underwater using circle hooks, you can actually see perfectly how the circle hook works. So you see the fish pick up the bait, eats it, I let it take it. I'm watching this from the bank so I can see what's happening. It's taking the bait, the fish is facing upstream, he's away from where I am, and he's facing slightly away, so I know that when I pull that hook, it's going to come right into the corner of the fish's mouth. Obviously, if I was upstream from the pike, I would want that fish to turn away and go downstream, because it's when the fish is facing away that that hook can come and latch into the corner of the pike's mouth. Let's say you can't see, you're not sight fishing like that. What you want to do is let it take the bait, you can leave it to take it for a little bit, and then you want to reel down and give the fish a bit of tension, let it feel it, because pike don't like it. And as that fish tries to swim away, which it will do, you can put pressure on, and that's when the hook will pull and catch into the side of the mouth as the fish turns away. In one of my perch sessions I did last year, when I first used circle hooks, I made the mistake of striking into a fish and pulling the hook straight out of the fish's mouth. Thankfully it was a greedy perch and it took the bait again, and as it swam away, that's when it hooked itself. So basically I just wanted to give another perspective on things to hopefully improve pike and perch safety. Using circles and single hooks isn't really something that's widely advertised here in the UK. It's not something that big companies really advertise. Like, they don't really particularly sell many rigs that are rigged up like that. It's all double trebles, single trebles when it comes to bait fishing for pike and perch. Well, not necessarily perch, but for pike anyway. With the pressure that these fish are seeing nowadays, it's not ideal for us to be sticking 6 hook points in a fish's mouth every time I want to catch one, ideally. But if every other session we can go out and use a different method, a different type of hook for catching these fish, just 1 hook point in the fish's mouth is enough to land it, then hopefully we'll preserve the fishing for years to come. I hope you've enjoyed watching. I hope you enjoyed this footage if you've not seen it already on my channel, which most of you who are subscribed will have already done. And I'll catch you guys later.